Welcome back to the Hello Future Me ASMR channel. I'm kidding, unless you want me to. Firstly, because you have to say this every single time, I'm bringing out a book called On Writing and World Building, which compiles all of my writing and world building content into a single, easy to reference, easy to read book, as well as a whole bunch of exclusive content on how I plan a novel and dozens of little side thoughts. Pre-order the ebook down at the link at Amazon down below. Unfortunately, Amazon doesn't do paperback pre-orders, so they'll be coming out on the actual release date, May 30th. And thank you so much to the 300 of you who have already pre-ordered the book. It seriously means the world. If you feel that my content has helped you in your writing, then please consider doing so as well. Link down below. Secondly, patron book giveaways. Congratulations Richard and Lauren and Astral Vagabond for winning your copy of On Writing and World Building this month. I'll be getting those out to you as soon as possible. And thirdly, because what kind
of social media influencer
would I be without a new patron signed book giveaway each month leading up to the release and the months afterward, starting this month. One new patron who signs up will be getting a copy of On Writing and World Building sent out to them. You can support with any amount, same chance of winning, and considering that's a relatively small group of people overall, it's a pretty good bet. It's also partly kind of a way for me to say thank you to those who support me on Patreon, because that's really the only income that I can truly depend on, as I really came to know this week when Sony ATV claimed 7 of my biggest videos, including 2 that I kind of count amongst my best projects that I've ever made. Long story short, they said that they were sharing a percentage of the revenue with me, and that percentage? 0. So yeah, Patreon is pretty important to me. If you would like to go into the draw and support me, then please consider joining our Patreon Discord community down at the link in the description below. Question 1. I noticed that it said Volume 1 under the title. Will there be more? This is indeed Volume 1, and yes, there will be future editions, or at least I hope. This is just a compilation of my writing and world building videos so far, but I'm gonna keep making those videos, so my plan is, provided this one is financially viable, to make future editions that compile future scripts into future books, future volumes. Said future a lot.
Oh my.
That looks like a great book.
I want it.
Give it to me!
It is a very pretty book. That's not really a question. I'm unsure if this has been asked already, but what's the price gonna be, or around which price? So I'm gonna be totally transparent in how I'm doing all of this, just so that you know what kind of goes on behind the scenes. I'm bringing out both ebook and paperback versions, and I took a long time trying to figure out what price I wanted it to be, because I want it to be accessible, because a lot of writing books are just not accessible. They're way too expensive for people, especially younger people, to afford them. And my main concern for this one is not making huge amounts of money. I just kind of want to break even. So on both ebooks and paperbacks, I make about $3.45 for each copy sold. So the price for each paperback is going to be around $12.50. And you might go, but hang on, don't Amazon authors get like 70% of the revenue? And you are right. Technically, they advertise it as saying you get 70% of the revenue made on your book, but it's not quite true, because they take the manufacturing costs out of the author's cut of the book. So I might get 70% of the $12.39 or whatever it was I put it at, but that's minus that is the manufacturing costs, and $3.45 or so was what I felt I could possibly sell enough books to break even. And to break even, I've spent about 2,000 New Zealand dollars on this, between hiring Chris Drake for the cover, as well as paying for an editor, and just a few other things, because there's a lot of costs that kind of you don't really think of at the start. The price will be, for the paperback, around $12.30, $12.50. That's my aim. So hopefully that helped. Otherwise, the ebook is $5, though it does vary a little bit depending on your region. Will it be available in my country? A lot of people were asking, will it be available in Germany, Greece, Britain, Canada, all these places? And my preliminary answer is yes, because I'm pretty sure Amazon ships everywhere. I can't tell you specifically if they go to all of these individual countries or any issues that might be encountered there, because I don't know all of that. Like getting books to New Zealand is actually pretty expensive from Amazon, so I understand the struggle for people who don't live in America. I'm very sorry about that. But provided you can get other books on Amazon, you can probably get my book as well. Yeah, so you know how you sort of wonder why every book is a #1 bestseller? How is that possible? Turns out my book is a #1 bestseller in science fiction and fantasy. Literary criticism. Yeah, nearly had you there. It's a really obscure genre apparently, but it's a #1 new release bestseller at the moment, which is really cool, I guess. Probably just shows more that not many people write books in that category. No bantam, no self-depreciation. I mean, clearly it's a fantastic book, the likes of which you have never seen before, shown off by its #1 best-selling mark in science fiction and fantasy. Literary criticism. Will there be a bibliography with more recommended readings, maybe some to teach storytelling or others on writing in certain mediums like how to write scripts, screenplays, novels, and graphic novels? So there isn't a bibliography or a list of books recommended for all those specific things. Like, I don't really know how to write graphic novels in particular, but at the start of every part of the book, there is a list of works that I referenced in that particular part, so you can see what I draw on when discussing particular things, which things are good examples of a particular thing. Will the audiobook version be directly ripped from your YouTube videos, such as having a wizard did it? So when it comes to audiobooks, as much as I would love to, I just can't afford to hire someone to make an audiobook for me right now. Will the paperback be available on other sites other than Amazon like Kobo? For the moment, no. This is all very much a learning experience for me, managing all of this, and I would like to be able to diversify where my book is in the future, perhaps, but no guarantees for the moment. To what extent have you written fantasy, and do you hope to publish any novels? Fantasy. My ecstasy and the bane of my existence. So, for most of my life, I both only read and only wrote fantasy. I now read quite a variety of different works, but I moved away from writing fantasy. I don't feel I'm particularly good at writing it. I've never written a fantasy book where I can sit back and go, you know what, I'm really happy with this. So, even though I wrote fantasy for like a decade, pretty much, that's all I did. I stopped a few years ago, and I started writing in different genres, just to see if I could. And I found that the books I wrote in other genres were a lot better. Now, I don't know how other people would judge my fantasy work. I still spend a lot of time thinking about writing fantasy, but for the moment, I'm writing in a couple of other genres. Do I hope to publish any novels? Yes, absolutely. And in fact, my aim is that after I've kind of finished with on writing and world building, my fiction book will be my next project. That's my aim. And of course, I really want to tell you about it. Its title is, and its two main characters are called. What other books do you plan in the future in terms of genres? Oh, do I really want to talk about that? So, those on my Discord would know that I've been kind of insecure about what genre my first fiction book will be in, because I know that my kind of following is very fantasy focused. And that's fine, I love fantasy, and I'm going to keep making content about fantasy. But my first book isn't probably going to be a fantasy book. I hope that's okay. I hope you're not like annoyed by that, or you feel betrayed by that. It's just not where my heart is for my own writing and what I get out of it personally at the moment. And I have written fantasy in the past, and I do plan to write fantasy in the future, but my first book is probably gonna not be that. Do you see getting your novel released affecting your video content and the focuses of the genres you explore, or will you still follow the same things you have already established? I think what you're asking there is like, if my writing book is successful in writing circles, is that gonna make my my channel kind of less sci-fi and fantasy focused and more general? No, probably not. I am not a romance expert, for example, so you're not gonna see romance novels are being discussed in depth as much as sci-fi and fantasy are. The heart of my content has always been sci-fi and fantasy, as well as, I touch on things like young adult, but I know that a lot of my people are into sci-fi and fantasy, and I'm totally with that, and that's not going to change the YouTube channel. What about signed copies? It took me a long time to figure out how I was going to do signed copies, but they will only be available to patrons, and there's a couple of logistical reasons for that. It just means that people are easier to contact for me for addresses and packaging screw-ups, and secondly, I have to manage signed copies all myself. I do everything with YouTube by myself, and managing signed copies for people all around the world is gonna be quite a cumbersome task for me, and I don't mind doing it. It's really flattering and lovely that people would want signed copies, but basically I have to ship the books to me, and then I have to ship them out individually to people around the world, from America to Iceland. Given that's how it works, I'm trying to make the process as kind of clear and manageable as possible, and that's a lot easier to do through Patreon, where I kind of have contact with everyone who might want a signed copy. Has YouTube changed your life for the better? What sparked your interest in writing and world building? YouTube is one of the best things to have ever happened to me, in ways that it is so impossible to describe. It allows me to explore my passion for education and fantasy in a way that connects me with a community of people who love the same sort of stuff, and I love what I do. I love every single second of it, and I am so thankful to everyone who has supported me in getting me this far and helping me kind of set myself up for the future in this kind of job. It's really incredible. So, thank you. What prompted you to write this book? There's kind of a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to know what it was like to self-publish a book, probably through Amazon, in a kind of low-risk environment for me. If I was going to publish my first fiction book through Amazon rather than traditionally published, which is unlikely, I want to traditionally publish my book, I wanted to know what it was like without risking kind of something that was so precious to me as my book that I had worked on for years and invested so much emotionally in. This book is obviously important to me, but it was really only compiling work that I'd already done, and then editing it and making sure it's all shiny and polished. It didn't take me nearly as long, nor did it take the emotional investment. So that to me it's a way for me to learn about self-publishing, but on top of that, I always wanted to bring out a writing book. I thought it would be a useful resource. I know that I probably prefer this kind of stuff to videos because I find it a lot easier to reference things. But it was really just something I wanted to do, ultimately, fundamentally. It's just something I was interested in doing, and people seemed to be interested in it, and it was an experiment, and it seems to be going well so far. Yeah. Excuse me, but what writing program did you study in college to get so well-rounded in novel writing and world building? Ah, right. Well, how mean should I be? So, I have a law degree. I have a Bachelor of Laws. I also have a Bachelor of Arts with a double major, one being in English and the other being in political science, particularly political philosophy. And those are what I studied. Here's kind of the thing. My English major did not help me at all. Everything I feel I've kind of learned, everything that you kind of see in the videos is literally just from me reading a lot, watching a lot, and kind of thinking about why stories work and why they don't. When I was young, I got out Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and I went through and I noted down the things that made the first chapter of Harry Potter work so well. I did that for fun, and that's just how I've always approached media, both books and movies. I like looking at things and thinking about why they worked, and I do that in my spare time all the time. My brain's just ticking over. When I come out of a film, I like thinking about that stuff. It is enjoyable to me. So over time, you just kind of learn stuff, kinda. When people say that the best advice that you can give a writer is to read a lot, that's why. Because the best way to learn about why stories work is to read good stories and read bad stories. Where did you get that amazing Katara art in your background? Not that one, but the link to the art that I had before of Katara is down in the description below, because a lot of people thought that was really cool. This one, however, this is actually done by an artist that I've worked with before, called Raid, and she actually designed the banner to my to my YouTube page. Her links are already down in the description, just as they've always been there. So go check her out. That's an incredible piece of Katara art. I really love it. How much does the book weigh? I don't know, like a kg? I have no. Gotta be less than that. 0.8? You'll find out. Alright, is that the Q&A finished? If I missed any questions you felt were important, please leave them down below. I'm gonna try and answer all of them. Also, you see all this? Normally I wouldn't keep this sort of stuff on the desk while I'm filming, but all of these, the old notes for my Azula video over the last while. I've been talking to psychologists and people who know about this sort of thing, and it's really cool. I'm so looking forward to it. You'll see it when it comes out. As always, get the book down below if you're interested. Thank you to those of you who have. So come support me on Patreon. Get into the giveaway. Get one of these. It'd be cool. And thank you to all of you who do become new patrons this month, and also remember that it's every month afterward as well. You're amazing. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the future. Stay nerdy. Other way around. Stay nerdy. And I'll see you in the future.